main thing about swimming a fast open water race is getting your navigation perfect. You don't want to be swimming further than you have to swim.
For a swimmer like me, navigation's key. I'm getting a bit older, I'm not as fast as I used to be, so I need to use tricks like this to stay at the front.
So a common mistake is that people look far too often. You should be aware of the course before you start, and there are, as we've talked about, lots of little tricks that you can take into an event to make sure that you don't lift your head too much.
For me, I like to, before I do my race, I'll go out and I'll find some key, I guess, sighting points that I'll use throughout the race to make sure that I'm swimming straight. For example, on the way out, it might just be the first can and factoring in potential drift and current as to where I should be swimming and where I should be hitting that can.
Make sure before you race, you check the previous waves go, the age group swimmers go before you've gone. You'll see them swim off course and you'll see the better routes. 2 is obviously you pick your markers. You know what's on the beach to aim for when you're coming in. It might be a building, might be a tree, or I don't know, it might be a clubhouse right on the shore. And then thirdly is obviously when you look up, when you're navigating in the water, make sure you look up on top of the chops and not when you're in a trough. When I breathe, I'll incorporate my breathing and my navigation at the same time. So I'll be swimming along, done a couple of strokes, then I'll look up, then I'll roll back into my breath and keep on going, then look up, and then keep on going. There's all different techniques, but obviously the main thing is when you look up, make sure you don't drop your hips, because that is going to drop you down and that is going to slow you down.
You really need to be able to integrate your looking or your sighting into your stroke. And you can do that just at the swimming pool. It doesn't have to be in open water. What I like to do is snap a little look just before I do my breath, so I'll snap a look, breathe out, and then breathe in, go down. And I might do that every second or third stroke, depending on the conditions.
You should really only lift your head enough so that your eyes are out of the water, head straight back down, and then take a breath. Usually I do that in one movement. So I lift my head slightly, put it straight back, and then take a breath and keep swimming. If you don't lift your head that much, then you don't drop your hips. The most common mistake is that people lift their head up too high, they then lift their shoulders, then their hips drop, and then they're moving like this in the water and they're no longer streamlined. So if you can minimise your head lift and lift with your neck, not your shoulders, then you remain streamlined, you put your head straight back down, you don't lose any momentum, you keep your speed up, and you don't have to use lots of energy to get kicking and moving again. So
the number one mistake that most rookie swimmers make is lift their head up. You might train looking up in the pool, maybe 2 or 3 strokes per lap, and that's good training. But when you go out in the ocean, if you're wearing a 2xU wetsuit, it is going to give you so much more buoyancy, so chances are you're not going to drop your hips as much.
Yeah, practice some head lifts and things like that in your pool swimming as well. Maybe polo is a really good drill to do, which is swimming with your head up.
Yeah, so obviously you get your technique in the pool accurate by just looking up every 3 strokes or something during a 50, and maybe try to keep the time cycles the same. So if you're doing 20 50s on a minute, normal swim without looking up, try doing 20 50s on a minute. And that'll improve, and then you'll see if you're slowing down or not. And if you're slowing down, you're not doing it correctly. But if you keep the same time, that's perfect. Then when you go out in the ocean, you'll be ready to go.